It's late at night and you're getting ready for bed. Right after you've laid down and gotten all comfy, your phone vibrates. It's your girlfriend. How nice to hear from her, right? Wrong. You open the text and it reads, "We need to talk." Instantly your mind starts racing. You're asking yourself, did I do something wrong? Is she mad at me? Does she want to break up? You finally suck it up and text her back. A few minutes later she replies and you read the words, "I am pregnant." If you've ever experienced an unplanned pregnancy, the thought of abortion may or may not have crossed your mind. Abortion is a widely debated topic and it has been for a long time. There are legitimate arguments to both sides, however. Rationally listening to these sides of abortion and having to make a real decision about it, that if it should be legal or not, is a very hard decision. I have spent a lot of time thinking and researching the pros and cons of abortion being legal in the United States. Taking a balanced approach to this topic and trying to understand both sides have taught me even more about this controversial law. Sex among young adults is at an all-time high. Hookups and casual encounters for young adults have become more than accepted in today's world. Today I would like to focus on the two opposite sides of abortion. Depending on who you ask, many will hear reasons for why abortion should be legal and why it should be illegal. There are legitimate sides to both arguments, and we're going to talk about that here today. These are very important points, so we will further discuss this. Now, there are instances where it may not be the best option to bring a fetus to full term. It is important to consider that if abortion is illegal, it may be preventing cases where an abortion could be a good option. It would also prevent unsafe abortions from occurring in the first place. Being able to have a legal professional abortion reduces the risk of injury or death. Our body ourselves states that an estimated 200,000 to 1.2 million illegal abortions were performed during the 1950s and 60s. Now that abortions are legal in states, less illegal abortions are being performed. When an abortion is performed legally and by a professional, our bodies ourselves states that only 0.0006% of abortions are fatal. They also stated that during the 70s, 25% of abortions were taking place 13 weeks after gestation, whereas in 2009, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 92% of abortions were performed within the first trimester. In areas where abortion is still illegal, unsafe abortions are a problem. Our bodies ourselves also states that the World Health Organization reported that an unsafe abortion is a procedure for terminating a pregnancy that is performed by someone who lacks the skills needed. Other situations they describe are locations that do not conform to the minimal medical standards. Abortion gives women the choice to not end high-risk pregnancies. There are two types of high-risk pregnancies that we will discuss today. According to BabyCenter.com, these situations open the door for health problems during pregnancy, birth, and after delivery. The first type of a high-risk pregnancy is when someone has an extreme, lifelong chronic illness. If someone who becomes pregnant has a blood disorder like sickle cell disease, it could make their condition worse due to the strain the pregnancy would put on their body. Another high-risk existing condition is if someone has high blood pressure. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, high blood pressure can lead to damaging the mother's kidneys during the pregnancy. There are occasions where fetuses develop extreme birth defects during the pregnancy. This brings us to our second type of a high-risk pregnancy. One situation that is discussed by NBC News is that if a fetus has developed holes in their brain, it were to occur, it would be almost certain death for that fetus. Another situation that occurred was discussed by the USA Today. A woman was pregnant with twins. One fetus had already died, and the mother's liver had shut down. Was this a legitimate argument for an abortion? You tell me. It is reported by Scientific American that 5% of rapes result in a pregnancy. Abortion gives women who became pregnant due to rape the option to not bring an unplanned baby into the world. Many who oppose abortion would consider otherwise in a case of a rape. Some states are even giving the rapist parental rights to the child that originated from their rape. These rape victims were between the ages of 12 and 45 years old. Should a child who is 12 years old be forced to go through with an unplanned pregnancy that they had no say in? Also, women at the age of 45 present a dangerous chance of experiencing a high-risk pregnancy. The points we just discussed are real situations that couples and rape victims are faced with on many occasions. Should a couple or a rape victim be forced to carry a fetus to full term, considering the topics we just discussed? Now, not all abortions are like this, though. Some pregnancies are unplanned without special circumstances, and we will talk about those as well. Abortion is a very serious decision, and is it fair to end the life of what would become a human, just like you and I? These fetuses are developing humans. Do they not have any rights to live? These fetuses have the right to live just as much as you and I do, and it is not fair that the fetuses loses their right to survive through someone else's decision. Unborn babies have the right to live. The Johns Hopkins newsletter describes this choice that it is not like you choosing chocolate or vanilla ice cream. You are choosing who lives and who dies here. And should being able to decide who lives and who dies really be something that anyone can make for someone other than themselves? This source also discusses that human development begins at fertilization, and that it is a living being. How is a baby inside the mother's womb, any different from a child one on the outside? Between these two stages is only the matter of minutes. Now, the newsletter goes on to discuss how a level of development does not determine their humanity or value. Abortion should not be used as a form of birth control. Some pregnancies occur because they fail to use the forms of birth control that can be provided to them easily, such as condoms and birth control pills. These are easily obtainable for people. These types of birth control are easily obtainable at any market, and they're very affordable. Planned Parenthood also provides assistance with birth control, often at little to no cost to you. Other times, other forms of birth control are used but fail. When we decide to have sex, you know the possibility of the outcomes when you make that choice. With that choice, the manufacturer of these types of birth controls made it clear that their birth control that they're providing to you is not 100% effective. And according to the abortionfacts.com, fetuses feel pain from abortion as early as 8 weeks and older. Minnesota citizens concerned for life reported that surgeons entering the womb to perform corrective procedures on tiny unborn babies have seen these babies flinch, jerk, and recoil from the sharp objects and incisions they are going through. They also go on to state that the babies of 20 weeks of age have a heightened sensitivity to pain. Babies at 20 weeks of age actually feel pain more intensely than you and I would. This same publisher also reports that the electrical brainwave patterns can be recorded at 43 days old. These babies can be seen with complete fingers, toes, and ears at just 49 days. And lastly, the report that all organs are intact and functioning at just 56 days old in this article. This includes the stomach, liver, kidney, and brain. These points are also very real and need to be considered when we're talking about abortion. They may be a fetus, but at one time we were all fetuses as well. How would we feel if our lives were stripped away from us because we had no rights? We are all going to be faced with hard decisions in life, and this could be one of them just as well. Listening and truly considering both sides of this argument can make it very tough to make a final and complete decision on this hard topic. Now, today we discussed the two opposite sides of abortion, and depending on who you ask, you'll hear many different reasons on why abortion should be legal or why it should not be legal, many of which we have considered today. And let's not forget that there are legitimate arguments to both sides for why abortion should be legal or illegal. Why is the decision to have casual sex so easy, but the decision that comes from the repercussions so difficult? Every day, someone in the United States is forced to make a decision on abortion and if it's the right thing to do or not. Well, you just got that text. What's your decision?